Hi Alex, how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Excellent. So today I wanted to just go through the homework problem sets that we had from last class. One thing people can do if they want to write their homeworks or just in general code in Java, they can use an IDE, which is essentially an environment where Java can run and the program can essentially give you the outputs. One IDE I like is the IntelliJ IDE. I'll send a link for that so that you know how to download it. But once you've downloaded it, you just can go ahead and create a new project. And you want to give it a name, so we can just say homework um, one section two, let's say. If you know about Git and you wanted to hook it up to Git, you can create a Git repository, but you don't have to. And you can add sample code as well, which I like to do just because it will make things easier to run. So we go ahead and create it, and we wait. Oh, there we go. It's created. It's just in a different screen. All right. So it will create this project for you, and it will create a bunch of sample codes and sample directories. So it shows up in here. The SRC folder is the source directory. So all the important things will be in the source directory. And it will already create a main class for you. Um, it has some sample code. We don't really need this guy, so we're going to delete this. Um, and we don't need this either. So, all right. Do you remember the problem set?
Yes,
Do you want to tell me what it was?
so there was a paper plane
Mm-hmm.
which we had to determine how much their speed is, their owner's name, and whether they can fly international or not.
And I think also how many passengers it could carry.
Yes.
Okay, so we want to convert this real world information to data. And since paper planes are not a simple thing, like you can't just say a number or a string, what did we say we want to do for complex information?
Mm, we need to make a class.
Exactly. And a good rule of thumb is that each new class should be its own file. So we'll go ahead, right click on source, and we'll create a new class, and we can call it paper plane. Remember, classes always start with capital letters. And voila. Okay. So first we're going to start with the fields that are important. So what should our fields be?
So it has to be by the order a string for the owner's name.
Yeah, I mean, the order will matter later when it has to match the constructor. But in this one, we can just decide which order we want. So we can say, whoops, string with a capital S, remember, string owner's name. And what do we do here?
And then we need to have a double for its speed.
Right, but before we do that, what makes a difference between great and good programmers?
We need to leave comments.
Exactly. What's an important comment in this context?
First name with the comments.
Yes, it's going to be owner's first name so that we know what name we're looking for. Okay, you said double speed.
bubble speed, kilometers per hour.
Perfect. Kilometers per hour. What else is important?
And another bubble for what was it? The weight of the passengers or the maximum number of the passengers?
The maximum number of passengers.
So it's going to be an ints.
Exactly.
It's not decimal.
Exactly. It's going to be whole people only. Maximum passengers. And, well, for this one, I don't know.
Number of.
So sometimes you don't need a comment if it's not vague, and that's okay. So we can leave it as that. So how do we also need to worry about whether or not it can fly internationally. So how should we represent that?
I think we should use a string type.
Okay, so if we write string international, and you can say like yes for international, no for not. So this is the data type that we learned. However, because it's kind of silly to create strings for yes or no's, because people can just say like yeah or nah or nope, and it's not as easy to verify. We actually have a data type that will represent this toggle, that will represent a true or false essentially, and they're called booleans. So a boolean can either be true or false, and they are super useful for a lot of things, especially for this one. So why don't we go ahead and we can write boolean international, and it can be true for international, false otherwise. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, now that we've created our field, what should we do next? How do we create an instance of this class?
The name of the constructor should match the name of the class. So we'll start with the capitalized paper plane.
Yes, constructing a paper. Whoops. So we want to start with a constructor. So we're going to write a constructor. So we can say paper plane. And what should it expect?
It should expect a string, owner's name,
Yep.
yes, double C.
Look at that. IntelliJ just kind of does that for you.
Yes.
So yeah, it's speed, maximum passengers, and whether or not it can fly internationally. All right, how do we set this?
Then we have to write this. String. Yes, a string.
I think you mean this dot owner's name.
Yes. And that.
Excellent. So this dot owner's name gets, excellent use of the word gets. It's not equals, it's gets. Owner's name. All right, what else?
This dot speed.
Yeah.
And then this dot maximum passengers.
Yeah, it's crazy because IntelliJ is essentially coding for us, but that's exactly what we need to do. Excellent. Okay, so now we have represented our paper plane. We wanted to create an instance of our ideal paper plane. So,
just a second, please.
Yeah.
Don't we need to write down the boolean?
We do. Wait, we have the Boolean International.
No, I meant like this that's boolean. This that's international gets us international.
That's what we have right here, right?
Oh, yes.
I think what you're mistaking is if you need to write the data type when you write these, you don't. You don't have to worry about the data type. Java will just know, okay, because you're expecting a boolean and you're passing it a boolean, it can do this. However, if you mistakenly write something else, let's say like you mistakenly say, oh, I'm expecting a double, Java will complain. IDE will complain and say, hey, this international is actually Boolean, and you're giving me a double, and I don't know what to do about that. So either change international here to a double, or change the parameter that you're passing me to a Boolean.
Right.
Yeah, so that's why it's great to have these checks and balances. All right, so now we want to create our instance of our paper plane. Are you good with that?
Yes.
Excellent. So let's go to the main class, and let's say that we want to create our paper plane instance. What we can do is say paper plane. Let's talk about your paper plane, Irfan.
Of course.
Irfan's plane gets. All right, how do I create a new paper plane?
New.
Mm-hmm.
Paper plane.
Yeah. What's the owner's name?
Irfan.
Irfan, exactly. All right, what's the speed?
750 kilometers.
750 kilometer per minute. You're gonna crash, man. Okay, all right. And it's a double, but if you give it as an int, it will just convert it to this essentially.
Right.
All right, how many passengers can he carry?
Only 10 of my closest family.
Only 10. Okay, all right. And can it fly internationally?
Yes, definitely.
So for yes, we say true. Okay. And we can go ahead and print this actually. So we can say system out print line Airphone's plane. Well, we can say Airphone's plane dot, let's say, speed. And if you want, you can say Airphone's speed is plus here. That's that. All right. We can run this code now. To run, we just press this guy. And look here, it's building. It's doing the work. It's making the purple plane. 750.
It's making me a paper plane.
It is making you a paper plane. It's making you a paper plane that can go 750 kilometers per hour internationally. I'm glad it can fly internationally because I feel like, otherwise the domestic flights will go so fast.
It is so boring. Yeah, it would be.
Yeah. The first time you build, it typically takes a bit longer, but here you go. Airphone's paper plane speed is 750. Nicely done.
Ooh.
Yeah, and if you change this to, let's say, 70, and you rerun it, it will just print 70 instead. So that's it. That's all we had to do for the homework. Any questions
Perfect.
or comments?
It all makes sense.
It all makes sense. Okay, just remember we learned about booleans. So true or false data types should be represented by booleans. And we learned that it's super important to have comments for everything that you write right here. And your classes should always be a different class, a different file, sorry. And you can access those classes in a separate file, like in your main file, like this.
Right.
Alrighty, have fun, enjoy, have a good day.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye bye.